Good day everyone, my name is Okon Samuel Victor. Welcome to my YouTube channel Victor the Analyst. So today we're looking at the 15 essential data cleaning techniques in Power Query. You understand? So these are the basic cleaning process you should know as a data analyst in Power Query. All right. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe, to like this video, to make other people see this video. So, all right, without much talking and do, let's get started with the business of today. Thank you very much. All right, like I said, we want to do 15 essential data cleaning process in Power Query that you need to know as a data analyst. So I'll click on a blank workbook. So from here, then we need to extract the data we are going to be cleaning. So I'll go to data, then from data, I'll go to the data drop down. Then my data is saved as Excel workbook, so I'm going to click this extension. All right, I will locate where my data has been saved, and I'll drop this data in the video description so you can download it and follow along as we do this. So my data is saved as a data cleaning tutorial. I'll click on import. So this will take me to Power Query. So I'll select the sheet 1. So this is going to preview our data. So it's going to preview the data, then I'll click on transform data. So it's going to take us to Power Query. All right, we are in Power Query now, and we'll start by the 15 process, the 15 techniques that you need to know as a data analyst. So let me just explain the few interface of Power Query. This is my apply step. Like any step that I take in my data cleaning process, it's actually being recorded in my apply step. Every column, every menu has its own ribbon section. So when I click on transform, I have my own ribbon section. Add column, it has its own different ribbon section. You understand? So this is the header name, this is the data type, and this is the filter. So when I click on this, it can actually bring me distinct value in my data sets. All right, let's get started by the cleaning process. Now I have a written note here, so which I'll get to see look at. Now this is the first one. The first one we want to do is remove duplicates. So we want to eliminate and replace any duplicates that we have here. So we'll go to the Excel and go to this. Now we want to remove duplicates. Before we even remove duplicates, we need to check if there is any duplicate. Now you click on Home tab. From there you go to reduce, or you go to remove rows or keep rows. You understand this one? So you click on this drop down, so you will see keep duplicates. So once I select this keep duplicates, so there you go. So we have how many duplicates here? We have like one, two is a duplicate, these two values are duplicates, and all these they are also duplicates. The null value is a duplicate too as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to remove those duplicates. So we'll come back and cancel this step. Then we'll go to remove rows and click on the drop down. So we're going to look for remove duplicates. So I'll click on remove duplicates. So that has been removed. Understand? So we'll go to the next one. Now let's check again just to confirm things. Go to keep duplicates. You can see now there is no duplicate there, so I'll cancel this. Now let's go on to the next one. We want to do what? Remove blank rows. Remove blank rows. So in the remove blank rows, that have been removed when we are removing our duplicates, because you see that there is all those null values. So if I click on this, my drop down, okay, yeah, it's still there. I have null. So let me just uncheck this and click on null and select OK. So this is a blank rows. These are blank rows, meaning that there is no data inside it. So how are we going to remove that? So I will come here, or better still, I can just cancel this step. You understand? So I'll click on this drop down, then I'll uncheck the null, then I'll click on OK. So there you go. So we are done with the second technique, which is the remove blank rows. Now the change data type. Now in data analysis, data type is very, very important, in the sense that if you have a date data, your data type for that date data needs to be in date. If not, your any operation you carry out on that date, maybe probably you want to extract the year from it, it actually would not work. So from what I'm seeing, our data type is actually well placed. Now this is my customer ID. On the norms, you can leave it as number, you can leave it as O number, and you can change it as text. So these are the different data type that we have. So I can change this to text. I can actually come here. This name cannot be, if I want to change this to O number, I'll get an error inside this place, because now we cannot read this as a number, whereas we can only just change it to make it to be a text. So I can come here, just cancel this, and it goes back to this point. So in other cases, if you have any data type, probably the data type is not really the same or what you have inside here, you can just come here, click here, and change it to the appropriate data type that aligns with what you have in your column. All right, let's move on to the next one. So we are done with this. Now we want to go to trim and clean text. So when it comes to trim, I'll just talk about trim. Trim has to do with like removing leading and lagging space. No, when you're writing anything in computer and you have extra space, the system sees it as a different entity. Like, let's say for example, you want to write new, and you peradventure you wrote new and you add a space, and in the other row you just wrote new. So the system will see those two entry as a different entry. It's going to treat the new and the new with extra space as two distinct data. You understand? So if I click on this customer segment, you can see that I'm having this in let me see, I'm having okay, let me go to this place. Inactive, new, premium, regular. Okay, in this case, what we're going to do is the idea is, are they being this we saw this new comes out twice, definitely there's a extra space. Okay, let's come here, let me just do something, and let me just come here and add a extra space here. Oh, because my Power Query is on, I can't do anything. Because my Power Query is open, I can't do anything. I would have add a extra space here, and it's going to treat that to this thing. So what you're going to do in that instance is you right click here, and you go to transform, over your mouse on transform, and click on trim. So let's click and then come to this place. Let's see for here, you can actually come here too as well, right click and go to the transform and trim as well. So what it does is that it remove any leading and lagging space in your data sets. All right, so let's proceed. Now we've done this. Now we go to the replace value. So in the replace value, now back to our customer segment. So I'll click on this drop down. Now we have inactive, and the space in between. So this is actually a typo error. So how do we treat this? We're going to use what we call replace value. You understand? So you can use your biro, or better still, this is the way me I do my own stuff. I can just unselect so and check this, and I'll click on OK. So come here, right click this, and I'll copy it from the memory of my system. Come back to this apply step, cancel this, and I'll right click on the customer segment. Then I'll click on replace value. So I'll do Control V, that is to paste, and I'll write the appropriate data I want it to replace it with, inactive. So the system will look for in this inactive and replace it with inactive. So I'll come here and I'll check this match entire cell content, and I'll click on OK. So let's confirm that. So you can see that has been replaced. Let me do one more again, then we go to the next next technique I mean to say. So I would select this, and I want to just copy and back. I'll just right click here, and I'll say replace value, Control V, and I'll say inactive. Alright, drop down, check this, and I'll click on OK. Alright, let's look at this. So you can see now that has been replaced, you understand, with the appropriate data. So you can work on this as an assignment or classwork. Try to replace all this one here. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So we've done this. Now we've done work on replace value, and we want to go to split column. Split column has to do with, let's say two data are actually merged together. I want to split it into different columns, into different individual columns. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's use this name as an example. We want to split it to first name and second and last name. We don't want them to be together as a full name, you understand? So I can select the name, right click on the column header, then go to my split column, over my mouse on it, and I'll say by delimiter. So when I click by delimiter, so delimiter means a special character. Delimiter means something that could be like space, comma, and splash or dash. But in our own case, the system is actually smart. It was able to pick that I want to split my column by what? By space. And this is the space here. And I'll say by leftmost delimiter. So by leftmost delimiter is going to run through all this old data. Anywhere you see the space, which is the first one, which is by the left, it comes from here down to this place, which is the left, and this is from the rightmost. And the each occurrence means that anywhere it sees space. But in our own case, we only just have one space here, so it's going to be from the leftmost because it's coming from this direction down to this direction. There is no space here. Remember that we trim here, so there is not going to be any space from the beginning. The only space we have is from this middle, which is coming from the leftmost direction, and we can actually still come from the rightmost too as well. Anyone we pick is actually still correct. All right, so we'll click on OK. So now it actually splits the data into individual column. So we can rename this to, okay, let's just leave this for now. So this is first name and last name. So let's leave this for now. Let's go to the next one. Now we are done with this, and we are done with this. We want to do merge column. We want to merge the first column and the last column. You understand? Let's merge back together. All right. Now let's say we want to merge it back together, and we'll be like, okay, I think bringing them together as a full name would be the best. You understand? So in that instance, what you're going to do is the column that you want it to come first, you select that first. After selecting which is this name one, place your keyboard on control, then click on the second column that you want it to come as the second column, as the second data. Then you go to add column. By clicking on add column, you are trying to create a new column, and this your data will still be retained. By clicking on transform, the merge column will be created as a new column, but no extra column will be created. You understand? So in my own case, I will make use of this transform, but in your case, you can actually make use of add column. Anyone you feel like. It depends on your requirements. You understand? So I'll click on merge column. So in this my merge column, a dialog box will pop out. So the first question the system is going to ask you, what is your separator? What do you want me to use as a separator? In a default, it comes out as none, but we're going to say we want space. Then what is the column name? We say you're going to give it like let's leave it as merge. We'll come back to change that, but we can change this as full name. Let us change it as full name, and we click on OK. So now you can see it actually combined those two columns to become one column. So that's it. Now let's move on to the next. We've done this, and it remains the fill up that's missing value from the row and above the so we want to deal with missing value. So how do we deal with missing value? Let's go to the age. Let's look at this, the total order. All right, let's look at this. Let's go look at the total order. So if I click on this, I'm seeing null here. So if I uncheck this and I check this, I'm seeing something like this value. So how do we treat this? This is actually a null value. We can decide to say, okay, we want to remove this row. Now let's say, for example, we're not removing the row. We want to actually replace it with a data that is actually really close to our mean or our central tendency. All right, in that case, we are going to either do something. We can change it with either our mean or our median. So I will go for our mean. So how do we do that? I will select this column, then go to view, then go click on column profile. I'll check on column profile. Yes. So this is going to give me a simple statistic description of that column. Then I have my average to be 10.48. So I can replace that missing value to 10.48. So let's do that now. So I'll just come back and uncheck this. So I can just say right click and say I want to do replace value. So this is null. I hope I spelled that correct. Null. Okay. And I'll replace this with 10.42. All right. Then I'll hit on OK. All right. So let's click on drop down. You can see now this has been replaced to the value that is actually close, that can actually represent the data that needs to be there. You can use mean, you can use median, it depends. So when are you supposed to use mean? Mean is actually used when you don't have outliers in your data, and median is used when you have outliers in your data, because when you have outliers in your data, that is pulling your that actually pulls your data away from the central tendency, you make use of median. All right, let's move on to the next part. Now we are done with this, and let's go to the conditional column. Conditional column help you to categorize data into different segments, like the way you have different age group. I can have my age from 18 to 65. I can decide as to say that, okay, yes, I want to group them into different age group, like from 18 to 25, from 26 to what they're about. So that different age group, any age that falls within that group will be grouped as into that different age group. So let's do that now. So I'll go to my Power Query, then I'll click on this add column. So now I'll go to the conditional column. Now we have each column. So let me just do something. Before I do this, what I used to do is I'll come here and click on this drop down to check the highest and the lowest. This is 18 and the highest is 62. So what I do is I will decide to say, okay, what is the bin width that I want to use? I can decide to say, okay, I want to use 10 as the bin width. So we go with 10 as my bin width. So I'll go to this add column, click on my conditional column. Then I could just say age group. So the column name I'm working on is age. The operator will be less than or equals to, and the beginning is 18. I'll say 18 plus 10 is what? 28. So any age that falls within the range of lesser than or equals to 28 will be grouped as 18 to 28. Then I'll add one more clause. I'll have age here, and now lesser than. So I have this one will be 38. So I'm adding 10 interval. This is 29 to 38. So one question that I feel like will pop up in your mind, like what's going on here? What about 20 what's it called? 28 is actually lesser than this value. You understand? No, we have age is lesser than or equals to 38, meaning that what about this value that is here? So what happens is that whenever the system wants to run this statement, once it runs this first statement, the data related to this statement actually leaves the system. It leaves the column. You understand? So this next one too will run. This one too leaves the column too as well. So it's going to see from once it runs this one, which is from 18 to 28, every data that is 28, it picks them and give them their output. So those data from 18 to 28 will leave that column in the background. So it will now remain from 29 to 38, to from 29 upward. You understand? So this one too runs from 29 to 38. So once it sees that one too, just like that. So let's come here and have it to be like 48, and here will be 49 to what we call the no, this will be 39 to 48, and I add one more clause again. I have age, and this should be lesser than or equals to. So this is going to be 58. Then I'll have it to be like this will be 49 to 58. Then the last statement, this is 59 to 69. Okay, let me do a 68. the last one. So whenever you have all your statements, so the last statement, you don't need to bring in another statement again. Just come here and close it with a else statement. Then I'll click on OK. So we've actually created a new column. So this is, click on this drop down, then you change this to text, because it's actually coming out as general. The system does not know what to attribute to that column. Then I'll change this to text. So you can see every data that falls within the range of 18 to 28 is actually tagged as 18 to 28. Now look at this. So when we come down, if we come down from 29, you can see it stops here, 18 to 28. 29 is it continues, that which this one actually falls under the 29 to 38. Same likewise these two as well. All right, let's go to the next techniques. No, we've done with the number 9. So we want to remove special character. How do we remove special character? Now we are going to use replace value too as well, but let's go to this and I'll click on drop down. So this is what we mean by special character, this at here. So I can just use replace value, and I can just use, okay, let's check this and select this and click on this. So I can just right click here and just copy and come back here and cancel. Okay, right click and once again replace value, do Ctrl V and I'll replace it to new, and advanced option, check this and I'll click on OK. All right, there we go, and let's check this perfect too. So you can see it's no more there again. So moving on to the next one. All right, we've done this. Now let's go to the next one. Rename columns. You understand? There are some cases whereby your columns header are not really spelled out correctly, so you need to know how to rename it. So let's do that now. So if I want to rename, let's say I want to rename my full name to be customer name. So I can just come here, double click here and change it to customer name. Or you could right click here and go to rename? Is rename here? No. Okay. So the best thing you need to do, just double click on it. Click on it twice, then it's and rename. All right. Sorry about that. So we've done with rename. Now let's do what we call remove unnecessary columns. Unnecessary columns are columns that are not needed in our analysis. Unnecessary columns has to do with this, like take for example this email, probably we don't need it. I can just come here, I right click and then click on remove. I can as well click on delete on my keyboard. So I'll click on remove, then we've actually removed the email, and that's it. So the next one is standardized text case. Okay, if there's irregular this is actually good for whereby there's irregular font style, you understand. So what we do is that you come here, right click and go to your transform and say capitalize each word. So it goes around and change each word and capitalize them. Understand? That is actually very effective when you're cleaning your data. All right. Now we have done this. It remains replacing null value. I think we've done this in the other step up there. And let's go to extract dates. All right, let's go to the extract dates. Okay, now in the extract dates, what will happen is that you make sure that the date type is actually what you have here. This is, we have different. If I change this to text, you can see this is actually gray out. I can't see anything. If I click on drop down, I cannot extract my year. So you make sure your date data type asks the accurate data type that you want to work on. So I'll click on the drop down, then I'll click check this to date. So I can just add new step. So this is date data type. Now I want to extract year. So I can come to this date drop down, over my mouse on year and click on year. So if I do that, it's actually going to extract the year for me. I'll click on this data type and I'll change this to text. You understand? So when you change this to text, this has been extracted. This year has been extracted from your dates data type. All right, there you go. So now we've actually done the 15 techniques that you need to know, basic techniques. There are more to this that you need to know as a data analyst. All right, we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope it is very insightful and educative. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to do that. I'm encouraging you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel to encourage me to do insightful and educative videos like this. I encourage you. I'll see you next time. Stay blessed.